Good morning, everybody. It is May 25th, 2025, 9 a.m. here at Dobbs crib.
The Dobbs crib. I like that.
We didn't ever name the old pad here, but it looks a little dark again. Do I need the light on? Not tired of this lighting in this studio.
That's the Dobb cave for you.
That's a little better. Yeah, that'll take the back shadow off. Anyway, good morning to the folks that are watching us. Good morning to Cheyenne in Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully she'll be watching and maybe call in or text us here in a little bit. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. Good weather finally. Dealt with a lot of rain all past week, so it's good to see the sunshine. Windy yesterday, though.
Yeah, it was windy.
It was a lot of windy. I know you were down to a sportsman's club.
Yeah,
hanging out.
hanging out there. It was pretty nice.
I was supposed to go with my gang to Crosstown, but my stomach wasn't feeling it yesterday. I got to be honest with you. I woke up with a little bit of, the bathrooms, and it just wasn't going anywhere. I don't know if it's something I ate or if the Ozempic's getting me a little bit.
It was probably your cooking.
My cooking could have been that too. You never know. But I feel a lot better this morning. I'll say I will say I haven't gone yet, so I'm good. Hopefully, I'll be good today. And then it also feels good for us to be off tomorrow.
Oh yeah, man.
Just gonna feel good to not have to wake up till Monday morning going to work.
It means we can get our drink on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the Phillies game.
Yeah, that's right. Today the Phillies are on at 4:05. Talking about the Phillies, home of the Phillies. They have the major league best record in the majors right now. Pretty sure I'll do this off the top of my head. 38-18. I think. I saw it this morning, but I don't look at stats and I try to remember everything. But they have a 9-game winning streak, which is being talked about on May 16th. This young fan was out in the right center field out there, and somebody took a shot at him holding up a crucifix, pointing it towards the playing field. The Phillies were behind that game, and right after he did that, it was like, good luck, good luck here. Well, McKay's he's a Catholic. He was a Catholic fan. And they went on to score 4 runs that night to win that game, and they haven't lost since he's done that. Just letting you know, There'll be those out there saying that didn't have anything to do with us winning. It probably, I'm just saying, just putting it out there for a little. It is kind of ironic that it happened, but it's cool. So
That stuff works.
Lord's with us. Yeah,
He probably believes in that because
I'm sure he does. Yeah,
Castellanos is doing great, and the reason why he's doing great is because of me. Because I talk smack on him all the time, and now he does good.
That's true. Because anytime you talk smack on somebody, I know when I used to play cornhole over at Chris Shaw's house, Jason Deal would always talk smack, just messing with me, fun wise,
right?
And every time he did, I was better shooting. He's like, I know I'm one thing. I ain't gonna do it when you're playing against me, but I'll do it when you're playing somebody else and whatever. And it always seemed to work for some reason. Just one of them little weird things. We used to laugh about it. So anyway, the Phillies last night were. I went to bed, didn't watch the whole game. I think I went to bed 6 innings. Enough they were behind at that point by a run, but I woke up this morning with them
4th inning.
Yeah, with them winning the game 9-6. Schwarber hit his 18th home run, so he's tied for the major league lead with 18 home runs. He also had a double in there where he drove some runs in. He had a good night. Harper, he got 2 hits last night, so he's still banging the ball around a little bit. Pitching didn't start off too well, but the bullpen came in last night and did their job after Ruiz. Ruiz gave up a couple runs, but it seemed like everybody after that was good. And that Max Lazar, who we brought up from minor leagues down there he was rehabbing, I think, and they got him early in the season, and he didn't get to play. He's been hurt. He got his first major league save.
Max
Lazar got his first major league save. He looked good. He was only in there for the ninth, but he looked good.
Banks did too.
Did 11. Yes, Banks has been doing well. Romano was doing well, but the other night they banged him a little bit. He got kind of hit, but I still feel he's fine. I don't think and he probably realized threw a couple bad pitches and they tagged me. He has been really doing good since the beginning of the season. We talked about this last week. Even he started off the beginning of the season with a 12.60 ERA, and now he's got it down to about a 5 or a 6. So he's battling, but yeah, the other night it was a little rough for him. He gave up a few runs. He didn't give up a ton, but a couple. But they're playing good ball right now. They're on today at 4 o'clock. I think this is the final game of the athletic series. But been playing good baseball. I just hope they can keep it up. Everybody in the clubhouse, they say, is up, and everybody's on a high right now as far as just feeling good. And you do. When you're winning, you win. It makes it. When you're losing, everybody's in a. You don't want to get down on yourselves. You're a little grumpy, a little pissed off at what you're doing. But when you're winning, man, that clubhouse is flying high, and it really does rub off on other players. So hats off to the Phils for the playing so good. Hope they can extend that winning streak to 10 today. 10. So we'll see, but
just check and see if there's any updated.
Yeah, I'm just looking to make sure. I'm just checking our phones here, folks, see if we get it, because a lot of times I get stuff in. I think Wayno even said that last week. We get things in that sometimes we have to look at and look at our phone and comment before we go on, before we move on. Shout out to my son and daughter-in-law, Ryan and Melissa, and the kids. Gavin and Rylan are in Niagara Falls this weekend. They got there Friday. They've been doing all kind of different little excursions, hanging out. This morning, in fact, in about 10 minutes, they've got a scheduled thing for the zip lining.
Oh, that's cool. Zip lining's cool.
That Terry and I got to do when Terry and I went to. We got to do that. We did it, and I've got video of it and everything. So they get the zip line this morning. Be a little breezy, a little chilly, but I'm sure they'll be dressed for it. But that's always fun. And then I think later this afternoon, I'm not sure when their boat ride is, but they're going to do the Maid of the Mist. I think Ryan and Melissa have already done it, but the kids never did it. In fact, Ryan and Melissa have been to.
I've never been there.
No, it's and like Ryan says, you can do everything in a couple days. It's not a thing to waste a week's vacation. I mean, you could be up there for a week somewhere doing other things in Canada if you want, but you can go over to Niagara Falls and in maybe 2 days really knock out the things you need to do to see everything that associated with the falls, like the zip line, like the Maid of the Mist. They did the tour where you go down under behind the falls yesterday.
Okay.
You wear rain gear and you go out this whole chute and you can see the falls right here. You don't literally years ago you used to walk behind the falls, literally, but they did away with that. I don't know why, it was insurance reason or what, but now you just go in a tunnel that goes up to it.
Try to jump?
No. It's a little too scary for me, but there's a lot to do there.
They just had somebody dive. Speaking of jumping, they just had somebody jump off the bridge again.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't see. I saw the article.
Right.
I saw somebody post it. I didn't see. Somebody said, "Why is the traffic and what's going on?" And the girl said, "Somebody just jumped."
Yeah, they got something. So that's what 3 in the last.
I forget. Yeah, I don't have that. Since I don't work here anymore, I don't remember it as much. When you're there, you know all the ins and outs.
They ever find that one guy?
I don't. Not that. No, I haven't heard anything about it. Usually they'll post that.
Did he really jump? That's every time I hear somebody jumping off the bridge, they always end up finding him.
But the current's funny though. He could be found somewhere. Not right now. I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe he's in the
body stays down. Who knows? Could be up that way. It could be up that way. So that finishes them up at Niagara. They will come home Monday. They'll come home tomorrow. That's about I think it was a 6-hour drive.
Hey Cheyenne, how you doing?
Hey Cheyenne, how you doing? Good morning.
Morning
to you.
I'm not sick. I just got freaking allergies.
He's driving me nuts, Cheyenne.
I'm gonna start hacking on him.
But hope how's the weather down in Atlanta, Georgia? It's sunny here. Sunny and 58 degrees. But we hope all's well with you. We just touched a little bit on the Phillies. Let me see, my daughter's texting in right now. Just headed out to the shore. Oh, that's right. They're going down the shore. Okay.
Well, they can listen. Huh? They can still listen on their phone.
Yeah, they can.
Do it. I'm glad you're feeling better, Cheyenne. They're I haven't had them this bad in a while.
I wish our print was bigger so I can read. I can't see crap.
Well, you went to Pennsville, didn't you? You can't read anyway.
Ah, how about we keep the jokes for me?
Here we
And
go.
you just do the high tech stuff.
All right.
Let me read it.
Oh, she goes. Y'all imagine slavery, hot as you know, wet and remain with pollen. My real sense of humor is coming out. That's funny.
Yeah, I have allergies too, Cheyenne, but I take stuff for them. So so does Wayno.
Yeah, Claritin didn't seem to work today.
When over the counter meds don't work, that really tells me that your allergies need to be addressed. Yeah, and get a shot, which you can get allergy shots once a month, or I forget how often. But you got to get tested to see what the severity is of whatever you have, for what it's for. Mine's for outdoor grass, weed, pollen, you know, all that junk. So, but the Flonase works for me. I told you what you just took.
Yeah.
I do that, and once in a while, if it gets bad, which I'm not outside anymore, so that does help. I take a Claritin pill or something. You know, a question for the week.
She says, "My question for the week is why do neither of y'all sound like you're from New Jersey?"
How's New Jersey supposed to sound?
Yeah, how we supposed to sound?
That's a good question. I like that. I'm born and raised in Jersey, my dear. Born and raised in South Jersey, right here in Pennsville. Well, born in Salem because that's where the hospital was.
Yeah,
I've been here for.
I lived in Jersey,
68 years,
Delaware, and
now
Maryland, but that's basically
the only thing I can help you with on that is North Jersey and South Jersey is both different the way they talk. So we're from South Jersey.
Old school Italian. That's what comes to mind.
That tells me that's North Jersey, though. When you talk old school Italian, I mean, there's Italians down here in South Jersey. Don't get me wrong, but Cape May, the Shore, Pennsville, Glassboro, Woodbury, we're all below the Philadelphia line of Jersey. So everybody above that, north of Trenton, up by New York, so the New Yorker people and the Jersey people, since they're right, side by side, that's the people I think when you hear accents, or you're talking about, where are you from? I'm from North Jersey, up there around, that's kind of a little bit, but yeah, I know what you're saying with the Italian talk, yeah. But I don't think, around here we all sound the same though, don't we? I mean, I don't think and we won't hear it anyway. As far as if somebody had an accent, I mean, they hear different.
Yeah, we say Jersey. We don't say Jersey.
No, we don't say Jersey. I say water, not water. I got to get close so I can read. I just thought about that old school. Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. I didn't know. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Like I say, the North Jersey people and the South Jersey are two different languages almost.
Yeah, South Jersey's the coolest.
Same words, just different pronunciation of how they talk about stuff.
Jersey.
New York. They say that up here in North Jersey, or they'll say New Jersey. Yes, they will say that. How's my daughter say? What's she say? She sounds like a New Yorker, and she's not. She was born and raised here in South Jersey her whole life, but she adapted some of the slang that goes with New York and North Jersey. So she does sound different than us, because we always say, "Why, Casey? Why do you say that?" She goes, "Well, say what? I just talk like that. That's just what I said." Nah, that sounds like New York. You sound just like a New Yorker. But anyway, what do you got? I mean, I'm waiting on you.
No, just.
I know. Well, you're always just shooting the breeze. I mean, I like chatting, but I like I like to have a clipboard. And
well, since we were talking about baseball, we got.
We need to talk about the poll too.
The poll.
The poll question. The poll question.
The poll question
that we have.
We'll
get to that. We're going to have another poll question too that I came up with.
But since we're talking about baseball, and Pennsville,
local,
their the boys high school team is 17-10.
Good.
They're 7-1 in the Tri-County division.
Cool. They got a good team this year, then, is what we're
The
saying.
girls softball is really killing it. They're 19-4,
Yeah, they are.
9-1 in the Tri-County.
So they're tops.
Tennis, boys tennis is 19-0,
Good Lord. But they've never been like that.
and they're 11-0 in the Tri-County.
Well, they better be, yeah.
Girls tennis is 20-2,
They're good too,
and
man.
they're 7-1 in the
They do have a good coach, though.
Yeah,
What's his name? He's really good. So that helps.
and he's out there. He's out there every day, man.
Yeah, I mean,
With
Penzel's
somebody.
in the years we went to school and even after, never really been a great.
Talking about Mr. Lamont.
Yes, Dan Lamont. Was never really great then, but now lately he's
Since
really
he's
turned
taken
his
over,
team
yeah.
on, and both girls and boys, and they are good. So we're competitive now where we weren't before. Baseball's always been competitive. Football's always been competitive. Wrestling's so we've always been good.
Yeah,
Soccer is up and down. It's there.
yeah.
It's
there,
not.
up, down.
Football's
a wash.
Track's always interesting. Good in some events, and other events not. So, but still good support though with the
Let's
track.
talk about football, the high school football.
I've about had enough.
I'm not diming nobody out right there.
You will.
But
It's May.
is it really the kids or is it the coaching? Because you got the kids that have played midget football, winning all these games, championships and that and everything throughout their midget football careers. Then they get to high school and just like, I don't know, poof, they forget how to play ball. You can't tell them that's what happened.
I think a lot of it. Then let me weigh in on that since you brought that up. From when they started as a midget and they move all the way through the system but so many of these kids that we see are good. By the time they get to high school, some of them do drop out, even the good ones. So it depends how many. Back in the day, Wayno's time, even though he wasn't Pennsville, in my time, the core of everybody that went in midget football stayed together all the way through till senior year in high school, all the way. Now it doesn't happen that way. So
Right.
I feel like the good programs you put together in the midgets, the little ones, until they get to high school, that changes. And plus, some of the way we do things, I don't like running the ball all the time. Now they do pass the ball more now, correct?
Yes,
Then
I
they
think
used
they
to.
were-
Back in my day, you passed it very little, and it was all either run and play. So you know what's going on. You know who's running the ball.
Like,
Boys, she had to wrestle boys. Big and
that's great.
But that's where I just think, like you're saying, is it coaches or is it what? I don't think sometimes I wonder if the coaching level of what we're competing against at the high school level is as good as the midget. And when I say midgets, it means the young boys. I used to call them the Colts, Cubs, and the Hawks. Now it's different. Now it's what? Now it's freshmen, juniors, and seniors, or some sophomores, and so they rate them up that way. But it used to be the Wildcats before. That was the little ones.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's right.
when I was in there in the '60s, it was the Colts were the 110. The Colts were 95. I think the Cubs were 110, and the Hawks were 125.
Right.
Weights, and that's what they went by. But I don't know, Wayne. It's like I said, the interest of staying with it for 15 years of your life, or 16 years as you're playing, whatever, or not even that much. We'll say 10 to 12 years. It just seems like it fades away when you get to high school. It's a different group. Some are still good because some stick with it.
Yeah.
But
speaking of, you mentioned about kids dropping out and everything. There was a kid that played when Jelly was in midgets, Mason Cox. And now everybody talks about Taylor from Salem, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you, if this kid would have stuck with it, because he got better every year.
Right.
Yeah, I really honestly think we'd be talking about him
right now.
Like,
and see, that's a shame. That's what.
Why? Probably going to a good college, college.
Yeah, that's the thing. The important thing is Taylor went to a good college, excelled in college, and then he went to pros, and he's good. And look at him now. So I mean,
Mason Cox, he was legit.
It's a shame,
but
but they lose interest. You got to have that passion and drive. It's not easy to maintain for your whole life. If that's some kids, it is. Other kids are like, you know what, I want to do other things. I know I'm good at this, but I don't want to do it anymore.
He's a good fisherman.
Is he?
Yeah, I see pictures of him catching all these fish and everything.
Now, how old is he right now? I mean,
17.
Okay. All right, so
He's there.
he's a senior then, more or less, or
Well, he'll be a senior next year.
he'll be a senior
You
next year.
think
Okay.
he's the same age as Joey.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
it's a shame. I got to watch a few rise up through high school, go to college, and then try the pros, and then of course didn't. Injuries is nothing. If you staying healthy the entire time, we had one, Bob Gallagher back in the day,
yeah,
who stayed healthy for a while. Then he got to cut, but football wasn't his passion. Baseball was. He was really good in football, so he went to baseball, played in college, had a minor league contract, signed a minor league with the Cincinnati Reds, and then got hurt, got a knee injury or leg injury, and was never the same since. And then he got out. Never.
looks like Richard. He played. He played for the.
Chris Widger played. Chris Widger stayed. He stayed pretty healthy.
He got a Super Bowl. I mean, not Super Bowl.
World Series
World
with
Series.
the Yankees. Yeah, he played. Well, he was with a couple teams, not a bunch,
Yeah.
a few teams. But Chris had over a 10-year career.
Yeah.
So
the last I heard that he was doing was I think he was helping coach the Wilmington Blue Rocks.
He's doing something minor league ball wise. I wasn't sure where he went or what he did, but you're right. That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to see him make it. It's cool. Very nice. So anything else we want to chit chat about? Did she put anything else up there for us to read? Anybody, anything on your mind, let us know. We'll discuss it. We can give the phone number again. I'll have Wayno do that here.
She tried to watch the Braves game, but it was unavailable.
Oh, okay.
The phone number is
For calling in.
For calling in, it's 856-430-2483. So if you want to chat about anything, call in and
give us a holler. Some of our guys out there don't know what they're doing. Ralph, I don't know what he's up to. Getting on my nerves now, but
I heard that Votech is wants to expand their athletics department, and which I guess is good for the Votech, but I think it's a bad idea because I have a feeling that it's going to hurt the schools that the kids go to.
True.
Because if you go to Votech, you can still play football if you're from Pennsville, you can still play Pennsville high school football. You don't have to play tech sport, unless you want to.
True.
And I just think that it's a bad idea. And it's just my opinion. I mean, everybody's got opinions on everything.
Exactly.
My opinion is no, I don't think they should do it because it's a trade school and it should just be a trade school. I don't even think they should be doing classes there. I think you should just have trade classes there. You go half a day there, then you come back. And I get it money wise for like gas and paying bus drivers.
Your half a day back here has to be your Englishes, your math, your histories.
Exactly.
Here, then go out there to get your trade of what you're going for. I tend to agree with that. I know other people are going to think, nah, it can be done both, but I'm with you. I think it, and Brian and I touched on this. Brian Savage from the maintenance, and he said this country's having a hard time with people in the trades. There's just not enough schooling for the trades, like the electricians and the HVAC and the auto mechanics and the different things. Everybody wants to get a degree and go be something in a building, in an office or where's the trades going to be in 20 years? Where are we going to be with all this? So I do agree that I wish they'd push a little more of the trade. And they taking the trades away from Pennsville years ago, I think was why. What's the big thing?
Like home ec and all that?
Well, yeah, like in that annex building used to be the auto shop. I mean, used to be the print shop, electric shop, wood shop. So all the things you're going to learn before you go to college or before you go to trade school was already at the high school, getting you ready to decide, you know what, I like wood shop, maybe I'll be a carpenter or electrician.
And kind of Votech to me was kind of like Votech was for, these kids ain't going to go to college. So they're going to go learn a trade. And I'm not saying that's the only reason why they went to Votech.
I know, right.
But I'm just saying that in shops and everything, kids will take shop classes because they weren't good in like whatever the extended English or whatever.
Well, right. They didn't care about all that college stuff. So
we have Cheyenne calling in. Good morning, Cheyenne. Welcome to the Dob And Wayno Show. How you doing today?
Good morning. We are good. We are good. How are you?
Good. Just called in because it's a coincidence that y'all were talking about education now because I work part time now, but I used to work full time in schools, and it's all messed up now. I agree with y'all about them needing trades again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's and we've been away. It's been away from our school system probably for how long? Wait, no, I mean, we're guessing now. I don't know, 20 years
at least.
At least 20 years. It used to, and yet they had a wing over there that was dedicated to just classes for electric shop, wood shop, print shop, metal shop, and auto shop.
Yep.
There were 5 different shops, I think, in the one building. I mean, it was there when I went to school, but that was back in the 70s, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. Now that was incorporated in your day, so you didn't have to leave the Pennsville High School to go to the Votech like they do now.
Right.
We just stayed there, and when my classes were revolved around, English, history, math, and then I went over to the shops and did my shops in whatever period it was. But there was a lot of kids involved in it too. I remember because people couldn't just really say, well, there's not too many in that class. Are you kidding me? By the time you walked in and sat down in those classes, there's 25, 30 kids sitting there waiting to be taught for whatever it was that you were in there for, electric or metal or, whatever it was. But getting away from it now and not offering this programs to these kids anymore, I just don't. That's just why I think you see so many kids out. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I'm not. Well, that's true. You're lost in a way because once the math, history, and the English is done, what else are you going to go do?
Yep.
What are you looking for? And if you're really smart, yes, you're going to become an engineer and you're going to become a biologist or a chemist. I get that, but there's only so many of them. There's a big field need out there for the vocational educational thing, and I just think this country overall got away from it a little bit. Overall, it's still there. Don't get me wrong. We still got electricians and welders, but it's not. It just doesn't seem like it's pushed like as much as college prep is.
Yeah, college prep.
Definitely not.
But
I noticed in Atlanta because I think the only way you can really do it there is you technically have to, like you were saying, have to go to another school and do it.
Right.
And they don't have it, but a substitute teacher, I could now.
Right.
But I went to another district that's like an hour away from Atlanta, and they had all of it on campus. And I'm like, well, why put it in the rural areas but not put it in the city where these kids are really in need?
Exactly. That is so true. That is such a good point. I don't know. It's befuddled me, Shine. Well, I don't know if it's more funding and everything does revolve around budgets and money and this and that. And that would be the first thing they'd tell you. Well, we can't afford it.
And that's what I think Salem County Votech is. They're going to expand their athletic department to more. I don't know what sports they are. I tried to get that out of a couple people, but they didn't answer it. And it's all about. I think it's all about money because I'm pretty sure the more kids that they get at Votech, the more money the state's going to get.
So I just don't understand there.
I'm assuming. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just
It falls back to funding. Then federal government needs to fund this more. We need to. We're funding everything else in this world, and all countries all over the place getting money. Why not fund the cities that need a vocational stuff and keep the doggone things in the schools themselves?
Yep.
But they need the federal grant money, and I guess it's just not. I guess they just. I don't know whether I'm going to say it's not available. I'm just saying nobody's pushing for it.
Right.
It needs to be lobbied for. So
they're just not. They're misusing the money.
They're right.
So it's like get like millions of dollars, and then they'll make like a computer lab, and then not use the lab. It's just
exactly.
Kids can actually use.
Yes.
So just I don't work full time anymore. It's horrible. The people there are just I couldn't tolerate it.
Wow. Now, there's a city I've never been to yet. I've been down to Georgia, a lot of different areas. I think I went by Atlanta, but I've never been into the city itself, to actually say I've been to Atlanta. But I spent a lot of time.
People do when they come here, because I don't know. I'll go to
Okay.
Atlanta chain.
How about that?
It's just different here. I guess because so many people that aren't from here moved here, and they just changed things.
Right.
So it's like totally different than how it was like 20 years ago.
That's true. Things change. You're right. People, and then, like you said, different people move here for whatever reasons, and they change things. The environment, the culture changes. The whole thing just changed.
New Jersey, I want to go now.
Yeah. Get up here.
Get
up here and talk to us, the people that talk different than the North Jerseyans. But yeah, when we addressing your question about that, I think that's what you're thinking. A lot of when you do hear Italian-y people or somebody says I'm from Jersey, they're not from South Jersey as much as they are North Jersey, and it's two different. It's one state in two different areas. It's so weird to think about that, but it really is.
Yeah, that makes sense though. No, I just never really thought because everybody in the Northeast kind of sounds alike to me.
Right. So yeah.
But it just makes sense because I was like, well, I don't know, my geography is kind of bad. So you are close to Pennsylvania, right? You said
we're close.
Yeah, you said
yes, Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia's 30 miles north of us. So if we go up 295, we are right like this town we're in, Pennsylvania, is directly across the Delaware Memorial Bridge, which goes into Delaware. So have you heard of Wilmington, Delaware?
Yeah.
So we're almost directly across from. If we go across the river here, we can be in Wilmington in 3 minutes, literally in the city. It's that close. And so once you go down 95 from us, like Baltimore's an hour south of us, a little over an hour. Philly's 30 minutes north of us. New York City's about 2 hours north of us. We just have to go right up the turnpike and we can go right across the Verrazano Bridge and be right in New York City. Now, you want to talk about people that talk different. The New Yorkers are they have the slang and the different. Yeah, they have a terminology that you're in New York when you start talking to people up there. But
sound like I'm from Atlanta. Well, here that actually from here, they houses. I don't think I sound like.
Well, yeah. See, and it's hard for us to. I mean, you just sound like a regular person to me. So I don't know how to say, what Atlanta people or Georgia people sound like.
Well, Southern Atlanta is going to be different from the rest of Georgia because it's all separated. So
okay.
Barely, let's say, kind of incoherent to people that's not from here. Okay. If you're from Georgia, it's just going to sound, I guess, it's regular sometimes.
So where do you now down there then? So other people in we'll say Georgia that you've talked to or heard or come into contact with, what do you ever hear like what they call the Southern drawl? Like when
so I feel like you have to go side either north or west, like because it's pretty close where I'm actually in. I'm in Austell, so I'm like 10 or 15 minutes from Atlanta.
Okay.
What I do is like going across the bridge, so you just go over Chattahoochee River and you're in Atlanta. Okay. So, I'm like 45 minutes away from Alabama. So,
okay, yeah.
It's like you're gonna hear. It's totally different. That's what I was saying when I was with those kids. Like it's a rural area, so they sound different.
Right.
Yeah. So most of the time, if I'm not in Atlanta, well, I would say the suburbs are really spread out because I'm in a suburb.
Okay.
So it's not a lot of Southern accents here. So you got to go I would say another county over, and you start hearing it.
And you start hearing the Southern talk. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool to hear. That was neat. I spent a lot. I've been to Savannah, Georgia, a lot. I've been through Savannah, stayed in Savannah. That area. I always liked Savannah, Georgia. That's more of it's more of an older city and like a historic. There's a lot of history to Savannah, Georgia, back in even the wartime and different stuff.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but I have been to Savannah.
Yeah, I like Savannah. Yeah, I mean, you have to get up here to New Jersey sometime. And I think the one thing South Jersey offers is the shore down to Wildwood, Cape May, Atlantic City, Ocean City, all those different shores.
Well, it sounds better than where I am. We don't have nothing. I was looking back at some of your older shows. Y'all have all these events going on.
Yes.
Thing here.
Yeah, there is a lot that goes on year round, and in the summer, there's a ton of things that go on. I mean, you'd be busy doing stuff anytime you would never be bored. Let's put it that way. I mean, and we're about enough
community because in my actual street, I only know like one person that lives on this street. The rest, I have no idea who these people are.
About that, yeah, we do. I mean, we in this town, you pretty much know everybody, don't you, Wayne?
Yeah,
it's pretty easy to just make friends, know who's around, who, even people that live a whole neighborhood away from here, which is maybe 5 minutes across town. I still know almost all those people. But there again, I was here my whole life. Yeah, I've been here forever. High school, married, kids raised here, everything. So this town, I've been to a lot of places. I've been to every state in the United States except 5.
Nice.
I've been to every state but California, Oregon, and Washington. I haven't, and obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but I've never been to Hawaii, and I've never been to Alaska. Those are the only 5 that I've never been to.
Wow.
So someday I do want to go to Alaska. I definitely.
I was going to say. So you saying we gotta go to Alaska?
Alaska cruise, they say, is to die for. You really do.
I'm gonna
I
go
got to
there
do
and go
that.
fish.
Yeah, I mean everything, Wayno. It's just I want to see the land of the midnight sun. That's what you get to see when you go to Alaska, where it's 24 hours of daylight.
Yeah. Oh, that would be.
And then but then there's times they have 24 hours at
Hey
night,
man, I'm
and
like day
it's like
drinking,
dark
so
all
I
the
could
time.
day drink for 24 hours.
Yeah, the party that never ends is what
There
it
we
would
go.
be. But yeah, so one of these. Yeah, I credit my parents for that because when I was a senior in high school, we took a month's vacation and went all over the United States, just driving and staying at different places. I've seen the Grand Canyon. I've seen Yellowstone National Park.
You know who has all the money in
I've
this
seen Mount
program?
Rushmore, the president's faces. No, this was in the 70s.
It's been most recently. I've been to Las Vegas, and last year went to Arizona for my graduation.
Yeah, I've been to Arizona, a couple different spots in Arizona. Well, the Grand Canyon one, but I've been to a few other cities.
So, you ever been to Florida? Still,
In Florida, yeah, I love Florida. My parents, when they retired here, went down and lived in. Well, they lived their winters, spent their winters in Florida. Then they came back up here, so they were always there from like December till May, and then they came back up to Jersey for the rest of the summer. But I like Florida. I've been all over Florida. I haven't been to the Keys. Florida Keys is one of the things on my list that I haven't done, but I've done pretty much every side: Orlando, Disney, the whole St. Pete, Tampa, Daytona. I got to move around quite a bit as far as traveling, not move around living.
Right.
We just traveled a lot, but we always had a camper or trailer. We didn't motel it. My parents they loved camping, so we did all that western trip that I did, and mid central was all out of a pop up trailer. Actually, spend a couple days, move on, spend a couple more days, move on. That's how it was. That's how we got to see so many different states and cities and stuff. But just keep moving.
oh, that's nice.
It was like 30 days of moving, but it was a trip that I'll never forget. I'll always
Yeah, like a lifetime memory.
exactly. I love that. I cherish a lot of the memories, man, today. But very nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna let y'all get back to the show, so I'll hang up and then I'll
Okay.
get back into YouTube.
Well, listen, we appreciate you calling every week. I love talking to you. You always bring a couple of different things to here to talk about, and that's what it's about. So we appreciate you listening to us.
Yes, I enjoy it.
All right, listen, Cheyenne, have a great day. We will talk to you next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right,
All
take
right.
care.
So have a good one.
See you. That's
Yep.
our.
That's our new bestie from Atlanta.
That is. That's our best. Yeah, our new bestie who checks in with us every week, Cheyenne, and it's always good to talk to somebody that brings a different thing that we do always talk about. So we touched on education, and she brought some things up that had some good points about that we were talking about with the trades and the VOTEC and the different kind of curriculum that's gotten out of the cities and gotten out of the schools and stuff. So. Right now, we don't get to see ourselves on the screen because we don't know what this one's doing. But
Looking for that poll you were talking about.
he's looking for the poll, which is fine. I'm giving him a rough time. He is busy on the computer. He's always busy. This one, I'll give him that. There we are. We're back. Didn't find a poll then.
Yeah, look for
Poll. What was it? Do you remember what it was? Now we can even at least talk about that. You were asking about. Oh shoot, I forget. And the new poll. What's the new poll that I brought up today? Forgot that too, did we?
Yeah, we forget that. We're getting old.
Shoot.
That's why we need a producer.
I wanted to know the poll was. We can't have a producer until we start raking in the cats. Once we get a few commercials and a few things we'll set up, we'll get a producer here. I'd rather produce than perform. But anyway, we're looking it up right now. So there's a little lull in the action, but he's looking on his phone. We had a people poll that we put out there maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was more than last week.
No, it was
Was it last week? Was it
last week after?
I kept thinking for some reason longer, but anyway, for a week ago we put a people poll out.
And we're gonna try to do that like
we're gonna. If I'll remember the one I have for this week. I was talking to Wayne on the phone before we started the show, and he said, "Yeah, we can do that." I got to write things down. That's my thing.
I know that.
And you do write stuff down, so it's not like you don't. You'd think you'd have it written in past notes, maybe. There you go. We might be onto something here because he does keep notes. And he's got to keep them. But I want to be able to go back to different things, discuss, stuff that we talked
So we can talk about why we're looking that poll up.
while we're looking the poll up.
that you read about. I did read that. I did see an article that might have been the same article that you were talking about when Aaron Rodgers supposedly signed with the Saints. And all that. I did see that.
I made a comment on that, and it wasn't true.
And
Wayno saw the same article, so I got to stop because, like he said, this internet today anymore. Everybody's putting fake news up there, and that's exactly what this was. I thought Aaron Rodgers signed with who did I say?
the Saints.
I thought that he signed with the New Orleans Saints, and he didn't. He hasn't signed with anybody. You said.
Nah,
he still has. He's looking.
I was laying there yesterday watching Sports Center, and he came across Sports Center and said Aaron Rodgers hadn't signed with anybody yet. I'm like, wait a minute. I said Keith said he did. Keith said he did, and I said I just saw the article that he was talking about,
and that's fake news.
So then I went and Googled it.
I'm going to stop this. Yeah. So I wish Aaron Rodgers quit. Not that it's any big thing to us. I wish he quit him hauling around because I'm sure anybody that he says he's going to sign with would rather him get signed. Remember, I thought a couple of the guys from Pittsburgh Steelers the one lineman got pissed off and said either you sign with us or you don't. Quit stringing everybody along. That's what he said.
Should they ban the tush push?
Here's the people poll that we put out. The question was, should they ban the tush push that the Eagles use? Yes or no? And we had a few.
We had 9 votes. We had 100% said no.
100% said we should keep it, which I kind of thought most of the people that would talk to us or log in would go along with the tush push being kept, which it did pass. It did not get turned down or banned, I should say. It needed 24 votes against, and it only got 22 against and 10 for. Out of the 32 teams, but it needed 24. So which only means one thing. It is the tush push is still allowed by the Eagles and anybody really that wants to use it for this year at this point, because you know what's going to happen at the end of next season. Again, they will do just what they did now and re-vote on it. They'll re-vote on it again. But so anyway.
So for the ban.
So in other words, to keep it, to keep the tush push, here are the teams that voted for it.
Eagles, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Jags, Dolphins, Patriots, Saints, Jets, and Titans.
Right. Those were 4.
And against the ban was the Falcons, Bills, Panthers, Bears, Bengals, Cowboys, Broncos, Packers, Texans, Colts, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, Rams, Vikings, Giants, all the other teams. But the one team that really pisses me off about for the ban is the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, I remember you and I discussed this.
That idiot tried it 4 times against Kansas City, and those 4 times he wasn't worried about whether his players were going to get hurt. He got mad because he couldn't stop the damn. He couldn't succeed at it.
Right.
So now he wants to ban because he can't do it.
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden, it could injure the players and all this and everything. But you tried it 4 times and failed. That's why you banned it.
That's the other thing.
And the same thing with the Green Bay Packers.
Maybe you ought to review the film and watch a little bit of what the Eagles. It's not just get down and shove. There's movement across that front line that goes a little bit. When I watch the line, this guy, one of our guys, sometimes is coming across while this one's going under. So when Kelsey used to snap it, the left guard next to him went this way.
Yeah.
So it's you don't just go, let's go, boys. Hope I can push them back, and that's what everybody thinks. And the deal with getting hurt, there is nobody getting hurt except the stupid. What's his name? Again, I shouldn't say that, but the goofball for Washington Commanders that kept flying across the. Eventually, he was going to get hurt.
Yeah, he'll get hurt.
But he'll get hurt trying to fly across, stopping it. You don't need to be if you can't time it. Then don't do it, because that was the dumbest thing in the world.
How many times did he do that?
He did it like four times. I think at least 4 times. And then he finally penalized him when we moved the ball forward 8 inches or 10 inches or whatever it was, a foot or something. I forget what it did get moved. But he's a squirrel. Squirrel, a flying squirrel. But anyway, the tush push is here to stay.
We were going to put up. We're going to put a poll up every week. We just got to figure out what the heck we want to do. And if you got a poll that you think would be good, call in, let us know, put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. If you want anything, like you say, I want to know who's in favor of this or that, or who feels, even in this country, should we be doing this and not that? Let us know, because we can put the poll out there and we'll see what people think. I get more people interested in doing, calling in or talking in the show and watching it if we have a little more thing where they're involved.
Wasn't it about their tech? Me?
Was it that we thought?
We just talked about it an hour ago.
No, it wasn't that. I didn't bring that up to you, did it? No, it wasn't that. It was you. You were going somewhere, and I was going to school, but why did I do this? And I said, what do you think about, why don't we do a poll? And you go, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. What the I was overdoing Gizzy in the morning. I wonder if you should not do that, because I like you to keep these pages on here.
No, I keep. I'm just crossing.
You should just do check marks. That stuff we discussed instead of.
Oh, this is stuff I won't go over again.
Yeah, but we could go back to past shows though with that.
Okay.
You can still see it though. I mean, it's not like
The onside kick. They're changing that
again.
Yeah, their onside kick can happen before. It could only happen in the fourth quarter.
Okay, so now it can happen.
It can happen anytime.
Beginning of the game.
They're moving the. What's it?
They're moving the
The
starting.
receiving team is up closer 1 yard.
Oh.
So because there was lack of, what do you call it? Success at getting it, so they want to up it.
There was lack of interest in doing it now.
Yeah, because the success rate was horrible.
Right.
So now they're trying to tweak it. Just put it back to the way it was.
What's this one saying? Good grief. Good grief, get a call in the show and quit worrying about that.
Yeah.
I sent it. Look at them things.
Oh, he's guacamole.
I sent that yesterday.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Shakal said that was yesterday. What's Ryan doing? Long process to check in. Still in line. Got in line.
Let's go.
I know, bub.
Get the zipping.
Hold on a minute. I know, bub. That's how it was.
His
with
son's
us.
texting him for zip lining down in Niagara Falls. We already talked. Did we talk about the mound? We were having problems.
Was it that? No, it wasn't that. But that was a good thing you brought up. Hold on. I'm still checking in.
While he's chatting, we got a caller.
Who's calling now?
Ralphie.
Ralph.
Morning, sir, Ralph. How you doing today? Welcome to the Dob And Wayno Show.
Turn the volume up. Right. We got you. He had you down. I couldn't even hear your voice. That's rare. That's
very, very rare.
I can't see my face because Wayne has to have the phone up there, but
Well, that's totally fine with me.
Can you see me?
We can see you.
TikTok. TikTok.
Man, this guy.
I mean, there ain't no.
TikTok. What movie is this from? TikTok. Around the TikTok, 5 o'clock. TikTok. TikTok, John. Anyway, back to the question from the caller.
Tired of hearing about the damn Eagles push. Jesus Christ.
Well, we are too. We're not trying to advocate for it. I didn't even think it should be talked about by the league. Exactly.
Anybody can.
Exactly.
It's right. I think it's fine.
That's the thing. The reason those haters hate it is because they can't stop it, they can't perfect it, and they don't want the Eagles to do it. So that's just
again, not team can do it. You have to have a player.
I know that. That's what we said. Yeah. Exactly. Well, you'd think these teams would know that, though. It's not. It isn't easy. I realize that it's a quarterback sneak at first with guys coming in from the sides, pushing across the line and pushing him in the back. Yeah, I get it. But you also got to have a quarterback that's got, can bench or squat 600 pounds. I mean, they don't have to have, but that helps.
Oh, of course.
You can't take a little skinny quarterback and take, you guys, you got to admit, Hertzy's got some legs.
Okay, so run a wildcat push.
Right.
And and give it to a full.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of giving it to a quarter.
I think this year, since it's gotten, since it's okay. In other words, it didn't get banned or anything. I think you're going to see other teams, like you just said, maybe the other teams are going to revise it in a sense and not just have that look where they're coming to the line and three guys are tucked up behind him. We know what they're doing. So you're right. Maybe you wildcat it a little bit. Maybe you bring the fullback position back and use it in a different way, in a sense. But you might see that this year.
They talked to Lori on WIP about that, utilizing the fullback position.
I think
more
you
this
should.
coming year.
I think you should. I think everybody should, not just us.
Sorry, Ralph. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Now, with that being said, hopefully one of the teams can call me and pay me $5 million this year. To use common sense to design a way to fabricate a tush push for my own team. I mean, it's common sense.
I'm glad. Well, I'm with you, Libby. I'm glad you brought it up because we are too.
Flyers to
yes. Let's get into the.
The Flyers, Sam Bennett.
Okay.
Just he's top center.
Yes. Oh, he is a good one. He is. Didn't you had him? You had him 1 year on fantasy, didn't you? I think you took him 1 year on the fantasy.
You're the bum.
Fantasy. Yeah. Ralph was back on when I thought they're bummed. Sam Bennett.
With that being said, he's 28, and the only worry, is when he started in Calgary, he wasn't all that great. A slight below average.
Right.
When he came to Florida, he played on the line with Alexander Barkov.
Right.
Which is
a stud. Yes.
So, of course, you can take an average player and put him with a really high level player, and of course it makes sense.
I think.
Sorry, I'll send my dog. So.
Well, I agree with that, but I also think that if the Flyers are looking into this, what am I looking for?
Your balls.
If they're looking into doing this, they're also looking to draft, and their sixth player to me would be hopefully a center from the draft.
Flyers.
Right.
So there's a his name is it was SHABANOV.
Shabby.
He's actually 23 years old. He's been playing, and especially he's from every time people talk about players, that they're pretty good. So like the next wing in 7 games, has 2 points. So that's like a point man. That's a point game.
Yes, right.
So that's pretty good. Now that was, I might be a little off, but it was like 24 goals, 40 assists,
which is still good. Which is very.
Here's the downer.
What was a downer with this one?
5'8", 157 pounds.
See, I don't. And I bet if you brought that up to Adam, he'd be like, "But he's too small to be a center." He would be. I would change him from center to something else. Then why couldn't
we all know back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
right?
NHL teams were built for toughness.
We're built for
first and later on.
Yeah.
Late 90s,
in the late 2000s to 2010s changed from toughness to speed. To speed, yeah. No, you're right. So with that being said, it's it's 3-4 years. It seems like the toughness. Well, and I don't know if it's just going back, but they're implementing more bigger players in with players that have speed, so that you have a mix of that. I think you're right. We went from one thing to the other. Now they're like, listen. So we get this guy, and he's good and he's fast and everything. But these other teams we play against got some bigger guys. He's going to get bounced around. Can he take it in the long run? Can he play the whole season without getting injured? Because he is a little guy. Yeah, I mean, I would think. Yeah. Right. I'm sure it's similar. I don't think anything like. But I agree. I'm sure it's similar.
Doghouse.
Rock and roll. If you ain't awake, you're awake now. Yeah, so teams once acquired. But yeah, so what size is Bennett? So now let's talk about that. If we bring Bennett in and this guy, we have a guy that can train or teach a little bit and him play. Is Bennett a bigger dude? Bennett is okay, so Bennett's a decent size. Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. I knew you were going that way in that route, but I was going to just touch on it, and then now I don't. Rating. Another first round pick, which I like Tippett though. Tippett's good, but I could see them doing that and that paying off maybe in the long run. Yes, I think that would be good. Yeah, I would agree with that. Even though if not getting anybody good for him, I don't want to let Tippett go because he's a good player. He's a good player, but I could see doing that. Yes, I agree. Also read where 200 million. Oh. And he donated the entire thing to a helmet show. Wow. Damn. Go Travis. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Wow. Man. That's very cool. Awesome. All I got. I can go help. Oh yeah, and local. Oh, okay. I got you, bro.
Quick question, Ralph. You wanna get in on the fantasy football?
You're gonna play fantasy football this year, right? When we do it. I know. Yeah.
Well, it's 25, and how we're gonna work that is if like I can count on us putting the money in and playing. You know what I mean?
I already told Wayne.
Like these other guys that want to get in, they're gonna have to pay first.
Yes.
And once I get the money, because they'll pay like Venmo or Cash App. Once I get that on those apps, then I'll send them the link.
And what he's saying is he knows you're going to pay, I'm going to pay, Wayno's going to pay. That money's in. But every year some of these guys say, yeah, let's do a pay one, and then they don't end up. Nobody collects the money. So like I told Wayno, I said, get the money up front before we even start the league, and then we know where we're at. Money has to be due a week before draft. At least a week would be good. A week or two, but that's plenty because the draft's usually a week before season.
Yeah,
or towards the end of close. So that's good. That's a good idea.
I usually try to have it after the what do you call it? After the last preseason game.
What's Cheyenne saying? I don't know that there is paid fantasy football. Well. It's our fantasy football league, Cheyenne, but we just it's amongst us, so we all put in $25 if we. It's a private, it's not out there like ESPN or anything. No, which you can do your own thing, but this is just the one that Wayno puts together. he puts it together. So if there's 10 guys at 25 a head, that's a $250 purse. Winner we'll just say it this way: winner could get the 200, and the second guy gets 50, or make it even closer. I don't know. I'm just trying to give the winner more, but that's all.
Yeah, one guy will get 100. The third place gets 25.
For third place gets his money back, so that's how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, 50.
I'm okay with that, Ralph. I mean, there again, the more higher we go, the less of these other ones are going to be.
50 for the buy-in.
50 for the buy-in.
Why?
Yeah. Well, true. 50 for the. You can mention it too.
All right. Yeah, I'll mention it to him.
Say, look,
I already told him 25, but I'll tell him 50.
Save the money. Tell them to save their money now. They got from May till the end of August to get this crap and save. I got money already away for it.
Yeah.
I like Ralph's. $50. If we can get 10 guys, that's $500 the purse, and it makes it worthwhile.
I'm going to tell them if they don't draft, I get it. Thomas will draft.
We should ask Cheyenne while we're on here. If you want to get in on this, you can't play. Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Cheyenne can play from Atlanta, Georgia. You can begin in on
Cheyenne, if you want to get in on that,
we can send you the link, and then you can either Venmo or Cash App Wayno the money when it's time. This ain't till the end of August. When this goes. Anybody anywhere can play. You don't have to be in this town to play. You don't have to be. You can be down in Georgia, and you once it's on your phone, you're playing along with us. You know, you draft your team, you play every week. Yeah, you'll need an email address. Well, I'm sure she has that.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has. Yeah. Look, Chicago, about had it with you. All right. Been a while since I got to talk to you. Jeez. Oh, shit. That's just not. Oh, wait. Look. Yes. Well,
Appreciate to give us the ability to be.
Absolutely.
I'm fancy. Great. There's so many things who line and in their life.
Well said.
Future.
Well said. I will touch on that once you hang up again. I mean, we did wish everybody happy Memorial Day, but we'll touch a little bit more on that when you're done. Yeah. But well said. Well said. Thank you, buddy. We do appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right. Yes. Yes. What is it now? Bigger. 2 weeks? Okay. All right. Well,
Do that.
yeah, we're just going over to hang and Ralph and watch it, see who's playing. Yeah, we're gonna do pizza. We're gonna have a little pizza. Right. June 27th. Okay. I'm putting it on my phone right now that you said that, so draft at Ralph's at Lips. What time is it? 7. So we'll get over there like 6:30, so we can kind of.
Yeah, if I can talk around and make it.
Yeah, that's true. We could go live at night. Different. Still do one Sunday. Either or. After
I'll have to check that.
7:00. All right, brother. We got it locked in the phones. All right, man. Have a good day. Have a good move.
Thanks for your day. Have a great.
Yep. You too, buddy.
You too.
We'll talk to you. All right, man. See you. That was Ralph Parks, friend of mine from Wayno's, local boy who just checked in with us a little bit. He's kind of our Flyers NHL hockey advocate talk. He pays a little more attention to that than we do because we're more on the football, baseball lines. But that's good because my son-in-law is the same way, but he doesn't really call in or not into doing all that kind of stuff. But Ralph usually gives us a lot about the Flyers and stuff. So, did Cheyenne say anything more about? Because I told her about the. She noticed.
She noticed.
Slimming down. Yes. I thank you for noticing. Yes, I've lost. What is it now? 7 or 8 pounds. It's been about 3 months, 3.5 months. I am on Ozempic for my sugar. My doctor put me on the Ozempic for my sugar, but obviously the good part about that is it helps you lose weight. It curbs your appetite. I stay full longer. I've been eating better. I have dropped. Yeah, I mean, I was at 265 probably in January, February,
Dang,
March.
you were the fat ass.
January. I'm down to now. I haven't been on the scale lately, but I know the last time I was on it said 245.
Man, that's good.
But I think I've lost more than that even. So it's probably lower than that. But I don't get on the scale every week, but I know I'm doing better. But thank you. Yes, I am trying to lose the weight. Healthy while I feel better. My sugar's down, and that's the big part. So
She said that's really good.
thank you. Like I said, it's a work in progress. It is neat because I was always an eater, a snacker, a junker, a tasty caker. Don't get me wrong, I still like all that stuff, but I don't eat it anymore. It's just weird. I eat more nuts and pretzels and fresh fruit, which I know still has sugar, but it's natural sugar. It's not processed sugar. Um, just anything I can that's on the good side. I look at everything now when I buy food. I never used to do that before. Just I want this, it could be that. Now I look at every little thing to see what it's got sugar content. But it's a change of life, but it's for the better.
And Cheyenne, about fantasy football,
Yes.
Tammy played one. My fiance, she played first time ever. I didn't help her pick any of the players, and she won the whole freaking thing.
She
So-
won, yeah, and she didn't pick her players. She used auto draft, so you don't even have to pick your players. You can click a button on there once you're in the league and the draft started that you want auto draft, and boom, it'll pick the next best player in that position or whatever you need for your roster automatically. She did that, and she won the whole thing. She won all the money. Show me the money, she said.
Yeah, if you want to sign in, let me know. I'll send me an email, and
That's
I'll
all
send you the Cash App information or Venmo.
or Venmo, whatever, if you have either of those. And then once he has your email, once we start getting people interested, then he sends out the link.
Yeah,
He sends you the link. Now I still have the link on me. I don't think I think I can use this one right there.
yeah, you might be able.
I think when it's not on now, but it says download the app, but it'll come up. I know. So we'll see. I'll let you know when it's time. Otherwise, you can resend it.
But yeah, we'll even if you want to call in and talk about certain players and everything, positions like that, we'll tell you what we think, and then
yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat.
When we get closer to draft time, we'll talk about who our favorite players are and all that, because you never know when we're going to be able to pick
Right.
until the snake draft comes on.
Till the snake part comes up. But I a month before it even starts, I start reviewing, writing names down. I just write them on a piece of paper, and ones I think is a better quarterback top 10 quarter. So if there's going to be 10 of us, you at least want to put down top 10 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And now you'll say, well, what if I don't get one of the other? You'll get somebody if there's only 10 guys 10 people drafted. The running backs, the wide receivers, and some of the other players, the bench player, kicker, and stuff like that. You have to have a defense. It's really not that hard. It's not,
And you can pick whoever you want.
You can pick who you want.
The thing that me and Dob hate the most is when somebody picks a quarterback in the first round. That
quarterback should be picked at least late second round or something like that. That happens. It changes.
It does happen.
And the other thing, when you're playing fantasy football, we let everybody know this. You can't pick from your heart. Like, well, I like what's his name because he's from this team, really. But is he good? You got to separate. Yeah. We don't just pick all Philadelphia Eagles. Trust me. Now, Joey did pick a lot, but he didn't pick all of them. But he used a lot. But you can't you have to separate. Look, I might pick somebody from Dow. I might pick CeeDee Lamb, even though I hate the Cowboys, but CeeDee Lamb's good. If he's available, I got to pick the best player in that position. But I'm not saying
you got to pick before Thomas does.
Right? Yeah, yeah. If I get the top
Thomas
pick,
is my son, and he big Dallas fan, so he picks all the.
And I got a feeling. I hate to say this, if Dak's back and he feels good and he stays healthy, that CeeDee's going to have a big year this year. So that's the thing. I won't pick Dak probably as my quarterback, but I will pick a good wide receiver that you think. So anyway, that's how fantasy goes with us. But we do it every year. We have a lot of fun, and it's cool.
We just got to resist picking Lamar.
No, you
that might be a good. That'd be a good.
No, you don't have to resist. Well, yeah.
No, she was saying.
Well, no. If he's available, that's a good pick. I'm just saying. No, I just meant like some people pick players from their like Atlanta Falcons. Say you're a Falcon fan, you're like, I really like this one guy, but I just like him. If he's good in the league, fine. But
I say Kyle Pitts.
If he's just
Kyle Pitts is one of my favorite players from Florida,
right?
But I'm not going to pick him as my tight end.
Right. You have to look in that position to see who the best available tight end will be, or anybody in the position. If Lamar is the best quarterback left on the league, and it's your pick, and he's up in the draft, and you say nobody's picked him, then you pick him.
I would try to pick Kelsey.
You have to do it. You have to go
as a tight end.
Yes. And there's a few others. The guy from Detroit. I mean, that's how it's said. We get papers and we start kicking this around. That's what makes it fun. Yeah. And you start reviewing. Oh, I like this guy. He's really good. Mark all these names down when the draft comes. And how do we do? Is it a minute or a minute and a half we get? I forget how long. You're on a timer.
Yeah, I think it's a minute and a half.
It might be 90 seconds. You're on the clock. You got 90 seconds to review real quick your notes and lock in a guy you want.
And you can set it up to where you can. And it's the other thing that makes it fun too. You'll pick all these players that you want, and they're what's it called? Not Quaaludes.
Oh, in the queue.
In the queue.
Quaaludes. Now we're going. Jeez.
In the queue, and you're sitting there, and you're like, all right, my guy's coming up, and then bam, somebody picks him and takes him off your board, and then you're like, oh. There have been times I had 5 people up there, and they're gone by the time they get to me. So, but we'll help you.
Yeah,
talk to you.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, we can
find out what the print. Like, say you got the.
We can talk.
6th pick. We could tell you. Keith will tell you who he would probably pick at the 6th spot and who I would pick at the 6th.
It's just fun being in it every week, saying, "Oh, I beat this guy," or "My team beat this guy," and "My team beat you guys." So it's pretty neat. We get into it pretty good.
And I'll let the other people know because there was a time where. If you're out of the playoffs and everything, and you're not going to get in the playoffs, we would trade players amongst each other. And
you can trade.
Some people got offended by that. Well, good grief.
Is that you?
I did Ike Reese, man.
Oh my God. Is that good? Do we have to open the windows?
This thing got a vibrator on it?
It does now. I know the chair does. I'm about to crack the window.
I gotta get off of here. Anyway,
but we'll talk more about it as the weeks go along. We'll talk more about fantasy football. It's a ways away, but it's nice to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's nice to bring it up. It's just fun to do. Your people even around you that some of the guys are different and can help contribute towards this is the guy you want to keep an eye on. You might want to look at this guy. I don't know. It's just good for 4 months from September till January. It gives us something to really kick around and do.
Yeah,
and it's only weekly. You can set your team and forget it. Like when we did fantasy hockey, they play every night, so you got to set. That's what's fun about that is you got to be on your phone or your computer every night.
And that was my heart.
Busy. And I love doing that, but we haven't done a hockey draft in a fantasy hockey in a while. And I don't do baseball. That's a long season. 162 game league. That's another one you got to be. I don't know. I just never got into fantasy baseball. But anyway, well.
That brings us to the end of the show.
Brings us to the end. We're going to wrap it up here for another Sunday. Good talking with everybody. Ralph, Cheyenne called in. We had, got to chit-chat with them a little bit. Bring up a couple topics. I want to touch on Memorial Day like Ralph's. But I know in case anybody wasn't listening, but yeah, Memorial Day is just not a happy type weekend to cook and barbecue. It is for a reason. So
what?
You know what I'm talking about. Well,
it's all about drinking.
No, that's all. But anyway, we get serious
just
here.
It
is a memorial to all the veterans who have served before have served in the past, have served currently now, and those that might get ready to go in. And our hats are off to you because the freedom in this country comes from all those who have done these things for the country. And we salute all of our veterans in any of the 4 branches.
Yeah.
And that goes for ladies and men. It goes for women and men because there are plenty of women who are in the armed services. And I do a lot of times on Instagram, Facebook, on some of these different things that people are involved in and stuff. And my hat goes off. I never had to go to it. They in any war, they were coming out of Vietnam when I was coming out of high school. Vietnam was coming to an end when I was getting out of high school. So I never had to go. I don't know what that's like, but I am very thankful and praise those that have done it for our freedom in this country. For what we have each and every day is because of them, and that those have lost their lives and that those are still serving. So thank you to the veterans in this country.
Absolutely.
And the world. So all right, we'll end it here. That's all for this week, but we will be back next Sunday.
Yep. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock next Sunday morning, folks.
And don't forget to look our page up on Facebook. We have a page and group, so sign up for both of them.
Right.
Like Dob and I were talking about the poll. We put a poll. We're going to start putting a poll up there, and different events we like to attend and all that.
Yes,
will be up there. So check us out there on Facebook. Just type in the Dob And Wayno Show, and both of them will pop up.
And you have a good week too, Cheyenne. Hope everything goes well for you down there in Atlanta, Georgia. And feel free to come up and see us in New Jersey sometime. Let us know.
So yeah,
you come up. We'll try to look you up and go out and have a beer, or drink, or whatever. Who knows?
I got a camper in the driveway. You could always crash out in the camper.
We can always hook up and
got heat. Air conditioning.
Plenty of breweries around here, plenty of clubs, plenty of different things. So come see Jersey. We got a lot of activities to do.
Yep.
So, all right, folks. We'll see you next week.
All right. Peace.